Just a couple things. It's always fun to go back and grade the video after your first game. Everything up to this point has been scrimmages and practices, and there's nothing like getting everybody off the field and actually playing in a game. A lot of good things going and watching the video and grading things. Obviously, there's things we got to correct. I think the biggest takeaway, or a couple of the bigger takeaways, was no turnovers. That's something that we talk about all the time. If we protect the ball, we win. I mean, that's our mentality offensively. If we protect the ball, regardless of everything else, we win. That's the mentality that we want to have. We did a good job with that and had a lot of people touching the ball as well. A lot of guys played, so that was good. I believe the one sack was on a run play there. We had some miscommunication, so did a good job protecting the quarterback. I think he only got hit maybe once back there on a pass, and then one penalty. And those are things that you are kind of concerned about going into the first game, especially when you're going to play a lot of guys. From a procedure standpoint, I thought we did a pretty good job there. Was pleased with our run and pass balance. Thought that was good. One focus in the offseason has been the explosive plays. I think we had 10 explosive plays, 4 runs, and 6 passes. So that was good to see, and by multiple people touching the ball there. And like we talked about, having 2 drives over 90 yards and then getting an opportunity with a 2-minute drive to be able to go push it in before half was big. Played close to 40 players offensively, so that was good for a lot of guys to get some experience. After watching the video, the areas, there's a lot of things to correct. That's probably the most coaching going on after your first game. Just a lot of things that really may not come up as much in practice or in a scrimmage as it does in the first game. Had a few missed assignments early, I think, that stalled some drives early in the first quarter, so getting those cleaned up. And then like we talked about, felt like the tempo definitely could be better than it was, a little slower than we wanted it to be. And we always want to get off to a fast start, and it took us a little while to get going. Once we got going, felt like we got in a good rhythm. Felt good about both Kelly and Trevor. Both of those guys made plays, and both of them had some throws that they'd like to have back, not unlike any of our other guys. But I think overall, both of those guys did a good job. And as coaches, we expect probably biggest jump from game 1 to game 2, just from all the learning that'll take place. So that'll be a big part of our focus today as we come in, is getting the corrections, things we need to get cleaned up, and then getting ready for Texas A&M. Obviously, it'll be a huge challenge on the road at a hostile environment. Very talented defense. I could tell watching a little bit of their game on Thursday night. The first thing that pops out is they're very athletic. They got great speed, and they're very long. I'm looking at their defensive roster and depth chart. Both corners are 6'2". They got great length. Their linebackers are 6'2", 6'3", 240, 245. And then those guys up front are very talented guys. So it'll definitely be a great matchup, one we're looking forward to. This is kind of what we've become used to at Clemson now. This is kind of our normal, going on the road in a hostile environment versus a very talented team. So this will be a great challenge for our team and our offense this year, early in the year. Also have a lot of respect for Mike Elko, their defensive coordinator. He's got a reputation as being one of the better defensive coordinators in the country. Obviously, we're familiar with him, playing him at Wake Forest, I believe 2014 through 16. And then he was at Notre Dame, did a good job at Notre Dame last year, and already off to a good start. So that's kind of where we are right now, and I'll open it up for any questions.
What were some of the specific, factors that kept the tempo from being what you wanted early?
There's a lot of things that play into the tempo. That's kind of what we talk to the guys. It takes all 11 guys really buying into it and being focused on it. First of all, from the guys that are getting signals. Some of our players have to get the signal. Some players, get to play maybe from the quarterback, but the guys that are skill guys that are trying to get the signal, immediately as soon as the play is over, getting their eyes back to the sideline, getting the signal, and having a sense of urgency, getting lined up. Just going back, you're not only grading what happens during the play, but you're also grading, the video and the time in between plays. And, because we can't get started till all 11 guys are set and ready to go. Same way up front, getting up there, getting set, making the calls, and then obviously the quarterback leading it with snap count, cadence, and those type of things. So, it's definitely something we can coach off of and definitely improve. I felt like we have improved in fall camp in that area, and I mean, it wasn't horrible game one. It just wasn't quite as fast as we wanted it to be. And also another part that has to do with your tempo is your execution. If you got missed assignments and it puts you back in tough third down situations, and that slows up your rhythm.
Jeff, can your familiarity with Jimbo, with Elko, as you talked about, can that help in preparations this week, or is it a totally new situation?
Yeah, I think first of all, this is you don't really know what you're going to get. There is a bit of an unknown out there anytime you have a new coordinator, anytime you have a new head coach, you got a new coaching staff with a whole new program. I mean, obviously, I think we've got close to 1,000 plays, that we've broken down at Elko, now with the first game here at A&M at 3 different spots. So you definitely really have to prepare for all of it, but also understanding that you could get something different, because even though, his scheme may be similar, what he does within the scheme really varies with the type of personnel that he has. And I would say, that he's got different personnel at A&M than maybe he had at some other places. And then also coaches change. Even though your philosophy may be the same, what you're doing, I think, we're doing some things different than maybe what we did 3 or 4 years ago. So I think it's one of those things that you have to be prepared for everything, and probably even a few things that aren't on video, and then the same thing with them. I mean, obviously, Coach Fisher's played us, Coach Elko's played us, so they have some familiarity with our offense, and so those are things that we'll take into account as well.
How have you seen Kelly kind of balance competing for the starting job, but also taking Trevor under his wing and trying to help him out? What's their relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. When I was somebody after the game, got home, just kind of looking through some things, and I was looking through some pictures, trying to find some ball security pictures for my wide receivers to point out good ball security and bad ball security. And one of the pictures that I loved was, Kelly congratulating Trevor as he came off the field, first one over there. And that's what we get to see every day on the practice field and the meeting rooms. I mean, those guys, are Clemson teammates. And I think, again, a lot of it goes to the culture that Coach Sweeney's done a good job of really creating here, where it's team first, and both of those guys, along with Chase Bryce, represent that and done a good job with that.
Jeff, going back to personnel, obviously this week the roster's going to shrink in size of playing time. Did any of the new guys make the case for playing on Saturday outside of Trevor?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going into the game against Furman. We wanted everybody that deserved an opportunity to play, to get to play. And then those guys knew that, what you do, it doesn't matter if you had 5 reps or 20 reps, what you do with those reps are going to have an impact on, how many reps you get the next game. And along with what they do, we got a full week of practice. But, there wasn't anybody offensively, we talked about it, there wasn't anybody offensively that we were disappointed with as a whole, or went, you know what, he's not quite ready for that yet. Now, it's a huge step up this week, going on the road in that environment and playing a very talented defense will be different than playing at home in an opener here. But I think we were encouraged with the young guys. When you throw the ball up to Darian Kendrick for the first time, how's he going to respond? Does he go attack it and finish the play, or does he kind of not do what you want him to do. And so you saw that. Again, Justin Ross, first time you throw him the ball, what does he do in that environment? Ball security left a little bit to be desired, but he got it in the end zone. So that's a good place to start right there. And then also for me, guys like Cornell Powell and DeAndre Overton, guys that are wanting to really take that next step in being able to play a lot of meaningful minutes. I saw some improvement. For me, the little things that I look at is the touchdown that DeAndre Overton had is the same one he had an opportunity versus NC State last year. Same situation on the field, everything exact same coverage and all that. He just used a better technique and finished the play this time. So those are things as coaches that you're just kind of checking boxes because you want to see that improvement. But there's no doubt this will be a new challenge this week, and what happens in practice, the way that they learn what we're asking them offensively with the game plan will be obviously different getting ready for a new opponent, and then also what they do in the practice field will have an impact on how many reps those guys get Saturday night.
Coach, going into environments or big-time road environments, how much do you encourage your players to take advantage of that virtual reality system?
Yeah, I think that's a good tool to have for sure, and that's something Coach Sweeney. I think we have just about. I don't know if we're going to have we have Texas A&M on that or not. Right now, we'll have it after this game, but that's something. Again, we're trying to. There's a lot of different uses of that, but one of that, especially for the young kids, that haven't been in that type of environment.